Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to do one question from the chapter determinant. In this question, we have to find A inverse, and using A inverse, we have to solve the system of equation. And these are the system of equations. See, this question involves 5 steps. In the first step, we'll be finding A determinant. Next, we'll be finding adjoint A using the concepts of cofactor matrices. Third, to get A inverse using the relation that A inverse is equal to 1 over A determinant into adjoint A. Then writing the given system of equation in the form of X is equal to A inverse B, where X is the variable matrix, A being the coefficient matrix, and B being the constant matrix. So let's begin with the first step. So to find A determinant, we are going to expand along the row 1. So it's going to be what? 2 multiplied by, this is 2 multiplied by 120 minus 9 into 5 is 45. And this is minus 3. Eliminating this row and column, what we are going to get? Minus 3. This is minus 80 multiplied by minus 30. And finally, along 10, eliminating this row and column, this is how much? 36. And minus 36, that is plus 36. So it results to give you how much? This is 75 into 2, that is 150, minus, this is how much? Negative 130, sorry, negative 110 into 3, that is positive 330. And this is 72 into 10, that is comes out to be 720. So this results to give you how much? 1200, that is 1200. So we got A determinant. Now we are going to find adjoint A. Now what is adjoint A? Adjoint A is a transpose of a cofactor matrix. Now we can do it in a one step. We can find adjoint A directly. That is by finding the cofactor of row 1 and writing along the column, finding the cofactors of row 2 and writing along the column 2, and likewise row 3 in column 3. And at the same time, will be, let's say first, if I find the cofactor of 2. So what is the cofactor of 2? It should be this multiplied by this. So that is comes out to be how much? 120 minus 45. That is equal to 75. So I'll be writing 75 here. Now, what is the cofactor of matrix? Cofactor of this element, eliminating this row and this column, this is negative 80 and negative 30. But then there will be a minus sign for this element. So this comes out to be positive 110. So this is positive 110, but we'll not be writing here. Instead, we'll be writing here. So if I write so, that is positive 110 over here. This is 110. Now the cofactor of this element, for that we are going to eliminate this row and column, and this is going to be how much? 36 minus plus 36. So we will not be writing here, we'll be writing here instead, so as to get, so this comes out to be how much? 72. Write down the cofactors of this row in this column. Now, once we have find adjoint A, next is to find A inverse. And what is A inverse? It is 1 over A determinant adjoint A. So placing the value of A determinant, which is 1200, we get A inverse as this. Now next you can see that here the equation is not in the standard form. So in order to convert them in the standard form, what we are going to do is to put say 1 over x as p, 1 over y as say q, and 1 over z as say r. So this equation turns out to be what? If I rewrite this equation after changing, 1 over x as p turns out to be 2 times p plus 3 times q plus 10 times r equals to, and similarly the second equation will give you what? 4 times p minus 6 times q plus 5 times r equals 5. And this equation will become 6 times p plus 9 times y and minus 20 times r equals minus 4. So this is how we obtain the equation in the standard form. Now, after obtaining the equation, what we are going to do is to write the coefficient matrix, right, as A. These are the coefficient, and the variable matrix, that is PQR in this case, and finally the constant matrix, that is denoted by B over here. So let's write down the coefficient matrix, which is the coefficient in this case is what? We can see that this is coefficients are this is 2, 3, 10, and similarly for the second equation it is 4, negative 6, and 5, and finally for the third one it is 6, 9, and negative 20. So what you can observe that this is same as the matrix A which is given in the question. So now we can say that we will not be finding A inverse separately in order to find x, right? So first of all, I'm going to write down these variable metrics, which is in this case is what? PQR, right? So this is P and Q and R. And the constant metrics is what? We have constant as 2 in the first equation, 5 in the second, and negative 4 in the third. Now, once we have obtained this, the next is to find x, and before that, I need to write down x is what? A inverse B. So we can say that this matrix x will be equal to A inverse, which we have already obtained, times B. Now, using this x is equal to A inverse B, what is x over here? X is PQR, matrix PQR, and what is A inverse? Well, A inverse, this whole thing is A inverse, and we have matrix B as what? This constant matrix B. So now we are going to obtain the product. First, I'm going to, keeping this 1 over 1200 over here, I'm going to multiply these two matrices. Now, multiplying the first row with the first column, this is coming as what? This is 75 into 2 plus 150 multiplied by 5 and negative 4, right? So I'll write minus 4 into 75. So this is 150, this is 750, minus, this is how much? 300, right? So this is how much? 900 minus 300, that is 600. So we'll be writing 600 over here. Now multiplying this row and this column, we are going to place the value over here. So it is how much? 2 multiplied by 110 minus 5 multiplied by 100 and minus 4 multiplied by 30. So this is 220, this is minus 500, and this is how much? This is 30, right? That is 120. So this comes out to be negative 600. Now to obtain this, what we are going to do is to multiply this row with this column. So this comes out to be what? 72 multiplied by 2 and 0 multiplied by 5. And this is negative, minus into minus is plus. So it's 4 into 24. So this is 144. This is 0 and this is 96. So it should give you how much? This should give you 96. That is 240 should be the answer here. Now, finally, to get the value of PQR, so you'll be multiplying this matrix with each element of this matrix with 1 over 1200. 1 over 1200, right? So 1 over 1200 multiplied by 600, it is what is going to be half, right? And similarly, this would give you what? Negative half. And what should be this? This will be 1 over 5, right? So now we can say from here that P is what? Half. And what is Q? Q is negative half. And R comes out to be 1 over 5. So now we can say get the value of X. What was X? X is, we have taken P as 1 over X. So therefore X will be reciprocal of P, that is 2. Similarly, Y will be reciprocal of Q, that is negative 2. And Z is the reciprocal of R, that is 5. So we'll declare this to be the answer for this system of equation.